Hey, John Paul here, and today is the last day of 2010. Tomorrow we begin a new year, and I thought I would start the new year off by building my first pyramid. And what I did was I calculated everything out on the computer to get the shapes that I need, and I laser cut some parts that I'm going to put together and some jig parts. These are basically the slope of the pyramid. So when I cut this and I put it down, this will be the proper angle of the Great Pyramid of Giza. This is the base jig. So these pieces fit on here like this, and then they'll all be glued together. And I've already got one started over here on the table, and I thought I would document this process because this is going to be really cool. This first one's just made out of MDF, which is a medium density fiberboard, and it's just to kind of see if I can do it and what I need to do to get it done and what kind of jigs I need to make, because I have some big plans for some cool pyramids I want to make with the flower of life and so forth. So anyway, I'm going to document that process and I go over here and show you the one I've got set up right now, which I have 3 sides up. They're just leaning against each other right now. They're not glued up or anything, so they could fall at any moment. But they've been sitting there for a while, so let's take a look at that. Okay, this is my work area, and here I've got the pyramid, 3 sides, looking pretty good. So the idea is to create a hollow pyramid with no internal support structure, just the walls supporting it. So now I'm just going to collapse it down. Alright, so here's the parts. These are the sides, and it's not an equilateral triangle. It may look close, but it's not. There's definitely a top to it, which I've marked with an arrow. And then I've bevel cut the inside so everything will make a nice joint on the edge. And I've got these parts being glued up right over here. These are so I can set them down. These are so I can set it down like this, and then I can lean up the one side and I can glue it to the base. And then I'll do that for each side, and then take the jig away. And then I'm actually going to be gluing it to a different base. So here's the actual base of the pyramid. So the jig will sit in here like this. I'll glue the sidewalls. I'll glue the sidewalls on their angle to this piece. Probably do 2 at once, and then when the glue sets up, I'll pull the jig out, and then I could drop the bottom of the pyramid out, and I just have this ring, so it'll be hollow in the center, and I can put something inside. Alright, there. So here we are. I've got this, here's my base, and this little insert just to hold so this doesn't tilt back into the base. So I'm going to set that right there, and again this slope right here. In this particular case, I based my pyramid dimensions off of squaring the circle using the Earth and Moon dimensions, and the actual slope, if you do it that way, is 51.843 degrees. So I would say that's pretty accurate to the real thing. There's some different ideas out there about what the actual slope is. Pretty much people round it off to about 52 degrees. Some say 51.51 and so forth. But based on the math, doing a squaring the circle problem, it's about 51.8 something. So anyway, I got this jig right here with the slope, and I've got my pyramid side with the bevel cut. This is the base. I got the top marked. So I'm just going to set it on there just like that, and it sits there really nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some glue. I'm just going to use my finger to dab some glue on this edge down here, and I'm going to set it on there and walk away, let it dry for a little while. Just using some tight bond wood glue. Now this angle cut that I put on these pieces is 45 degrees. It should be a little bit different to match up to the wood or to the base exactly, but the router bit that I have is 45 degrees, so it's pretty much what I have to work with. Okay, it looks like it's lined up pretty good. Just gonna let it dry there now. Give it about 15 minutes or so, and then I'll come back and I'll put another side on. Okay, it's been about a half an hour since I put this piece in here, so now I'm gonna pull away this little jig and see what happens. Looks like it stayed pretty good, so we're good to go. So I'm gonna put this other one in here that's a little crooked. And I'm gonna get ready to do another side. So right now I can see there's going to be a little bit of tension at the top. So I got to figure out a way that I can glue this other one in. I have this other jig that I use for when I do my framing and matting up my wood engravings. So it has this ridge right here, and it's nice and square. So I think what I'm going to have to do in this case is I'm going to stick my Pyrimid base in there